Okay, recording this video after close of trade Monday, the 2nd of May 2011. What an extraordinary kind of activity overnight with, first of all, the sell-off in silver and then the news from the White House about Osama bin Laden. To the charts, Emini daily chart, about 1.5 million contracts traded, just under average. We've now formed our cyclical turn on the daily charts here, so just showing you that. First of all, on the at es.d, so this is just the day session only. You can see just up here, this little white dot there is the cyclical resistance that's kind of printed here. It's not actually come up, been confirmed yet on the at ES, which is the day and the night session, but I'm sure it will be kind of with the activity kind of after hours. And this is second cyclical turn after end of trend, so very important point for me. I often see kind of trend changes happening here, but I think what we're going to go through is a period of kind of testing the highs up here. It isn't fascinating that, you know, the professionals kind of almost using the news from the White House to gap up the market into the 1370s and take profits, and we kind of sell off during the day. Just you couldn't have scripted it better. Interesting things happening. This kind of chart of the day is silver. You know, this kind of sell-off here that we've kind of the high to low range. This kind of Friday move to Monday bottom. I think it's about 15% kind of top to bottom. Pretty scary if you're trying to trade silver. Silver's kind of definitely gone through some kind of blow-off activity. You can see all these professional blue bars kind of into the highs, into 50 with our exhaustion buying signal here. No demand and a little, I think that's a little Rambo pattern up at the highs there, up at 50, and then we have this kind of sell-off. So, you know, low volume sell-off. I think what we're going to go through, we've still got to form a pullback and an end of trend on this daily time frame here. So, you know, we're going to try and find some kind of support. But silver and to some extent gold are making kind of slightly different patterns than the other commodities. On those charts you start to see these professional blue bars kind of at the highs with your exhaustion buying. You don't see that, for example, on crude oil at the moment. Kind of all the professional activities kind of buying the lows, and the rally kind of continues. And so for me that suggests that, you know, the don't write off the dollar. You know, the dollar here, we're starting to see the first signs of a bottom kind of coming in. First of all, we had, you know, exhaustion selling on the downside here. The activity today was almost like a long-legged doji here. It's like fairly decent range, kind of high to low, open and close, very similar. And what that shows is indecision in the market. So this 73 type level, we're starting to see, you know, some early indications that, you know, bottoming process happening here. But, you know, there's quite a lot of you know, activity needs to happen to form a bottom. You can see this is kind of the inverse pattern, this kind of top being formed up at 82, 81 last time we were here. So, you know, we've got a lot of that to go through before we see a kind of reversal in the dollar. And, you know, bonds, I've been moaning on about bonds for a while since we had this kind of sell-off here in the test. You know, the bond market was kind of cranking up a little bit today. So this is end of QE2. This is people being told by the Fed, you know, get out of the risk assets and move into the safer assets, the bonds, and, you know, that's what people are doing. Anyway, in terms of longer term charts, the 40,500 tip bar chart here, you can see, you know, Friday's activity, Monday's activity here, coming into, you know, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all of these blue professional bars with less and less buying going on, all these kind of bearish divergence signals here. You know, we come up into the 70s up here with that kind of spiky signal here. But, you know, the sell-off that we've had down here in terms of better momentum at minus 86 is not dissimilar to the levels that we had kind of in this move here. So, you know, that was quite severe in terms of the selling activity today. So we're going to be trying to find some kind of bottom over the next day and kind of test back up. If you go to the 13,500, so one time frame down, you can see here this was breaking into an uptrend here. All of these distribution patterns that we had on Friday, you know, and then bang, you know, there's the overnight activity. But coming into this pullback in an uptrend support level here, we've had our exhaustion selling, we've had blue professional bars kind of coming in here. So, you know, we could continue tomorrow. I think we could go either way, but I definitely think we're going to test back up into the 60s, high 60s at some point over the next couple of days. So we're trying to find where this bottom is over the next day or so. And then here's the 4,500 tip bar chart. I mean, I left the market around, what did I leave it? I probably left it about here with my trading to go to bed. But here's kind of the pre-open activity, kind of spiking up into 72 was the high. 73.50 was the high. Then it formed a pullback and an end of trend warning signal here, marked kind of the top of the day session. We kind of sold off and into an end of trend warning signal here at the close, which marked the bottom of the day's activity as well. So extraordinary, really. This end of trend signal here on this higher time frame, you can see came with a professional up bar into that cyclical turn after having bearish divergence here. And we kind of sold off, and then all these blue professional bars kind of come in to catch the market here with bullish divergence. And then when we rallied back up, all these amateur bars kind of rallying here. I was trying to get short way too early. I was trying to get short around here at 64.25, and I had to sit through 3 points of heat before kind of the trade kind of came my way, and I got out with my 4 points of profit. So did work out in the end, but it was a poor entry from my perspective. Let me just show you the 1500 tip bar chart here. So you can see you kind of sold off in the morning. We really had a little bit of an icebreaker trade here with this the break of this low blue professional bar here at the open, but didn't get on board it and didn't feel confident to take it. I went short at this point here where we had exhaustion buying, blue professional bar. We'd had an amateur bar kind of coming into here. Initially it went in my way and then reversed, and I took 3 points of heat on this trade. But you can see I was early because I should have been waiting for this cyclical turn, which didn't print until the actual turning point up here, which happened to be a pullback in a downtrend signal here. And you can see coming into that turning point, all these amateur up bars with Rambo patterns, bang, bang, bang. You know the move's weak when you see that coming into a turning point, and then bang, right at the highs, blue professional bar, exhaustion buying. We've had exhaustion buying, bearish divergence, and then another exhaustion buying. So really, kind of fully bought at that point, and the market starts to decline. Now coming into the end of trend, and I'll put these up in my day trading videos, I kind of lost a bit of confidence here when this blue professional bar kind of came in. But then as soon as we saw this second one here in the low of that bar being broken, the trend, which was set by the 4,500 tip bar chart, really kind of started to kick in, and the breakdown here was pretty fast. There was almost like a jump down here recorded on the videos just as I was talking through the reversal of that trade. Anyway, so kind of worked out in the end. Net for me, I was only up 1 point after that because of these shenanigans, kind of entering early, kind of reversing, trying to go long, and then kind of reversing, going short. So although I hit my profit target at 61.25 for my 4 points here, I'd lost so much on this kind of backwards and forwards activity earlier on that I was only kind of up 1. And stupidly, I should have just held. Sometimes when these moves starts to really kind of crank on the downside, you should just hold. So and you can see here's the end of trend and all the professional bars kind of coming in at the end of the day here. So too much talking from me. Hope you had good day trading, and looking for some kind of bottom to be formed tomorrow. Still think there's going to be a little bit of weakness kind of earlier on, but still think over the next couple of days we're going to test back up into the 60s. So hope you had a good day trading. Just got short 64.25, waiting for the right setup here. Missed a short kind of on the 1500 tip bar chart with this kind of blue professional bar kind of early on. So the next one that really kind of is lining up here is on the 1500 tip bar chart. A little bit early for a cyclical turn here on the 1500 tip bar chart, but we've had one on the 500 and kind of overshot it a little bit. So we've overshot it with some Rambo up bars, so amateurs first of all up here, then the professionals step in, the ISM numbers came out. Bearish divergence, we've had exhaustion buying on the upside here. So the break of that low, that blue professional bar on the 1500 tip bar chart, it's a good place to look for a potential entry. I mean, I know we're trading against this kind of pullback on the 4500 tip bar chart. But just think, we've exhausted ourselves a little bit on this up move, so we'll go back down and test. Short 64.25. A couple of minutes later, I headed off down to 63, and we kind of bounced back up to the entry point. But a couple of things. First of all, on this bounce, being led by the amateurs here, amateur up bar into 64.25. Plus, we were a little bit early here maybe because the cyclical turn hadn't come in on the 1500 tip bar chart. Sometimes these kind of work out and the cyclical turns really late if it's a really kind of strong trending move, kind of continuation. So, still looking good with the professionals kind of short signal here. You can see on the 4500 tip bar chart all that activity up here was represented with the blue professional bar. So just waiting for a little bit of a test back up, cyclical turn to print, and then hopefully we should kind of test 63 and head back down. Okay, I just had to sit through about 3 points of heat on this trade. Obviously the entry around here was way too early, but it's kind of trading against this cyclical swing, if you like, here, and that was kind of the problem. Plus didn't have a confirmed cyclical turn on the 1500 tip bar chart. So, but coming back up into this kind of retrace, being led by the amateurs, all these amateur up bars, 4 Rambo patterns in a row here. We end up with exhaustion buying and blue professional bar right at the highs here. We're kind of bouncing off this level that was support, turns into resistance. And this cyclical turn on the 4500 tip bar chart's coming closer at least. What I'm hoping I don't have to sit through is kind of a pullback and end of trend on the 500 tip bar chart. But hopefully now things should start to kind of swing in my favour. So still holding short at 64.25. Just had to reverse and go long at 66.25. And the reason for doing that, we had this whole cluster of blue professional bars kind of coming on the 500 tip bar chart here. We've had an exhaustion selling signal, and we had blue professional bar coming in on the 1500 tip bar chart with a cyclical turn about to happen. So I don't think this uptrend is over. So that's a 2-point loss on that trade. Let's see if we get a little bit of a pop to new highs though to make this worthwhile. Tricky, just reversed and went short now, 65.25. We're in a bit of a conduit at the moment. We've had an end of trend on the 1500 tip bar chart here, but this last kind of push up was exhaustion, buying, bearish divergence. This blue professional bar came in on both of these time frames, and we kind of went below it. So we could actually break below this support on the end of trend signal here and head into a downtrend. I suppose, that's what I've been playing all morning, hoping that we'd get this kind of rollover. So, shouldn't, just because we've had all these blue professional bars kind of come in, necessarily think that that's not going to work out. Just all of this exhaustion buying has meant that, whoa, and we're really starting to move. We might have triggered some stops or something there. That was interesting. Anyway, end of trends come up on the 4500 tip bar chart. We've broken below this on the 15 now, so this might start to run. Just keep watching. Just a couple of minutes later, just had exhaustion selling on the downside in the blue professional bars. This is a pro signal exit kind of coming on the 15. But I'm going to hold on a little bit. You've got these blue professional bars kind of come in here. Rambo with blue professional bars and blue professional bars going to get a little bit of a bounce, but still got this kind of downswing to go on the 4500 tip bar chart. And if we get close to 61 and a half or so, which is kind of the low for the day, we'll kind of crack some stops and keep on going. Kind of down 3 because of my mucking around with kind of reversing and so on. So need to get at least to, well, 61's the target, but need to get to 58 in order to make my 4. So gonna hold it and see what happens next. Okay, still holding on to this short trade. Got my target at 61.25. Had an end of trend on the 500 tip bar chart kind of come in. We kind of had some blue professional bars, and had this pro signal earlier and a little bit of a pro signal on the 45, but hoping to still kind of come down and test. We're below cyclical support on the 1500, so we're in a kind of a sizable downtrend at this point here. So I'd like it to run a little bit further. Plus had a data outage. TradeStation for some reason kind of stopped. It always kind of freaks me out when I'm in a trade. Got to kind of just re-log in and open up my charts. Anyway, so just still holding short. Okay, bingo, just got taken out at 61.25. So that was for 4, so that's good on this last push. Probably end up being a flush signal here on the 500 tip bar chart. So we're probably going to get a little bit of a bounce from here, but on the 4500 tip bar chart we're still in a downtrend here, so maybe there's an opportunity to kind of re-enter short once we kind of come back up to test in the 63s or so. So let's keep watching. So up one so far. It's been a slow day. What is it? 10:50 a.m. Still got to make 2 or 3 more. So see if a setup comes along. Oh, that's very annoying. We just hit 58 and a quarter, which was this kind of stretch target, an extra 3 points on that short trade. We never kind of got up into 63s. I was kind of looking for, some kind of pushback up and an opportunity to get short, but just never got it. This was kind of the area here. Would have been nice to see kind of a pullback type trade. God, now we're down to the 57s. So exhaustion selling on the downside. This another exhaustion selling here. So we had an initial rush, kind of slowed down with these bullish divergence signals, and then another kind of push down into kind of 58s. You can see all the blue professional bars kind of coming in here. This downtrend's not over until we see kind of a pullback and an end of trend on the 1500 tip bar chart. But for me, it's kind of getting long in the tooth. It's about 11:30 a.m. Chicago time. Not a very good day for me, although I'm up for the day. Missed a good short, or not a good short, missed a short at the open, which was kind of an icebreaker trade. Poor entry on the short trade, and then got out way too early on this last kind of downtrend move. So I think I'm just going to call it a day from my perspective, but interesting day. Interesting to see my charts at the end of the day and see if we've kind of getting a confirmation on this better sine wave kind of cyclical kind of resistance level on the daily chart. Anyway, hope your trading went well today.